Outside of Dunnard Row, the investigative branch for the city of Defiance Bay, I've been confronted by Penhelm and looks like 4 of his goons. Penhelm's face is white. Just talked to that little cipher, did you? One of my novitiates told me he's seen someone in the records room. Takes a slow step towards me, extending a hand. Give me the affidavit. I've done nothing to you. His other hand comes to rest next to his sword. What does this mean to you? Are you serious? This is my career. I've labored years for it, and it all hangs on some coincidence of a past life. Any Derwoodian, rich or poor, can aspire to a position in the Crucible Knights. Anyone can rise to the rank of High Justice, except for those of us born with the wrong soul. Tell me how that's reasonable. Cheer up. You always thought you were someone special. Soon everyone will know you are. He draws a sword and spits at your feet. I won't let you ruin me over this. Too late. You've already done it yourself. I said I don't like it when people don't speak the truth. He's not. You're ruining another man. All over nothing. On your feet, dear. Not that one.
Yes. Hi?
Blind him. Penhelm is down. I want this novitiate dead too. Hope you're okay there for a minute, Aether.
How may I help?
But he's down. Two left. One left.
Dead on.
This was easy. Although I don't know how about the Crucible Knights will take this. Osric's family breastplate. This old breastplate has its share of battle scars, but it's clearly been well preserved over the years and still bears some of its original shine. The symbol of a flame is emblazoned across the middle. Alright then, we'll take it.
I'm here.
That wasn't so hard.
Sure.
And it seems we've all gained a season. As the others have looked into their new skills that they'll be focusing on, I'm looking into my own. Now, as much as I want to focus on mechanics, I really do feel like I should. Maybe I should, actually. Athletics, Aether has also been bothering me about that I should be able to withstand. Oh, maybe I really should. I don't have his ability to withstand everything. And maybe it's a little bit into lore to help me understand everything more. Athletics. Next time I'll go into mechanics. And secret horrors. Causes enemies in the area of effect to believe their worst fears have been realized, frightening and sickening them for their duration. Ah, that is interesting. But I actually want to focus on Pain Link. Mentally links nearby enemies to the target, forcing them to experience a portion of all damage the target suffers. The Master mentioned that. He wrote down. He told me how it works. Now, as for what I'm to focus on, I thought long and hard about it, but I want to discard the shield. I think I'm going to use two weapons and go 2-weapon style. It's going to reduce my ability to inflict damage, but I'll be a lot more powerful at offense. Plus I have that new ring, which is really deadly in its own right. Alright, I think that we're good here.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to the sanitarium. It's nearby. Maybe we'll run into Nadine on the way. Tell her how sorry I am for making that mistake. No, she's not here. I hope that everything goes okay with Aloth. I don't know what to expect. This could be... we could lose him, actually. I'm not sure who to speak to. I think I was told to speak to the leader, which is the statue. Hello?
Hail, traveler!
Ah, the Watcher. What brings you here? You may have a member of the Leaden Key in your midst. Just remember that. Ethelmore groans, and the stone around him shudders. I could have done without hearing that today. Many have their intrusions been into our affairs. Of course, one can seldom be certain whether they've meddled or whether calamity has struck on its own, but a few of their less skilled infiltrators have been exposed from time to time. They are a perpetual nuisance. Once again, I'm reminded of how envious I am of your gifts. I suspect they would be of some use in verifying one's identity. You are at odds with Leaden Key as well, I take it. They're up to something. I'm trying to determine what. They are always up to something. Of that you may rest assured. If their plots have come to involve you, you have my sympathies. Do you have some idea of who this person might be? I suspect it's a patient. Very well. In that case, I would recommend you speak first with our resident animancers. They have frequent interactions with both patients and colleagues. You'll find them up here or in their offices downstairs. You will report anything suspicious to me immediately. This is my only request. That's fine. Another topic, please, if you will. Does anyone here know anything about awakenings? There's an animancer on the lower floor who came all the way from Ravua to study them. Take the stairs down and look for a Bella Sage. Alright then, well it seems like everything we need is downstairs. I'm not sure if the Leaden Key are up to some nefarious plan. I need to know what it was that they awakened within me. Maybe one of my past lives was with the Leaden Key. Or a follower of Wodica. Some priest of Wodica or acolyte. I just need to know to form an opinion. I've heard a lot of bad things about them. Kana didn't have very good things to say of them. Was she not in this room? I think you're the one I'm looking for. Are you Bella Sage? Something else you need. I'm looking for an expert on awakenings. She laughs bitterly. Ach, that would be me. Though the lack of research subjects has made me more of an expert in counting floorboards. I would like to transfer Animatsu's success in buttressing pre-awakened souls to soothing those whose souls have already awakened. But I need subjects, and most of the patients here are too broken to produce reliable results. It is a tragedy to have come so far for nothing. You're in luck. I have a volunteer. She springs to the balls of her feet, beaming. Gillard, who is it? Aloth's lips curl into a frown. I don't know about this. We have nowhere else to go to. She grins more broadly still. Don't be silly. The process is perfectly harmless. All you must do is stand in that cage. I beg your pardon. I jest. You Adirians are so uptight. They do not even know what the thing is used for. It belonged to the last occupant of this office, I think. Now they upgrade him to a cell. Again, I jest. She rubs her hands together, getting down to business. So, I need you to sit here. She takes Aloth by the shoulders and steers him to the couch. And try to relax, but don't try too hard. Then you will not be relaxing. Indeed, his eyes are humorless. And you must also wear these. A little cold, but the copper will help conduct your essence. The Animaster fastens thick copper bands to Aloth's forehead and wrists. As she ratchets them tighter, his face twitches with suppressed irritation. Now, I will examine your soul through my scope. She reaches into her desk and produces a long chambered tube. Knobs, dials, and small toothed wheels run along the side of the device. It is fitted with Hadret lenses cut to different thicknesses and concavities. By manipulating them, I find the angles and densities that will allow me to track the anomalies in your soul. Does this mean we get to talk to Isomir more? I like that lady. She raises a finger. But first, we must find this cunning interloper. You will answer some personal questions while I make adjustments. Sagani pats his arm. Don't worry, I'm sure we won't hear any of it. Aloth squirms on the couch. Very well. She holds the scope to her eye and flicks a knob. To begin, tell me something personal. Something from a time before your awakening. There's nothing to tell. I was just a normal child living in the cliff Scythewood. He looks to you. To me, his face is set in frown, but the rigid edges of apprehension show through nevertheless. Talk about your parents. As you speak to Aloth, you feel your voice like a bell in your chest. It tolls softly, luring him into the midst of his own memory. Sage doesn't seem to notice anything, but you feel as if your words are smoothing his essence, untangling its many threads. He closes his eyes. Mother is away most of the time, with the Thane's family, but I always know when she is coming home. Father bottles accumulate like storm clouds on the horizons. His fits of temper become swifter, more violent. It still shames him, knowing that her hamnig to another man supports us better than his labors as a steward. This is good. I'm starting to see something. Continue. Tell us about the time you awakened. She bites her tongue as she twists one of the dials. I am in my 5th year of training. Mother is home. I can let my guard down a little because when she is around, he is usually only angry with her. But he has heard that I have had trouble casting missiles, that my flame shields are unstable. He is furious that I have failed, and Mother's presence reminds him that he has failed too. The first blow takes me by surprise. One moment I am sweeping the kitchen, the next I am sprawled on the ground, stupidly looking at the flecks of blood on the tile. His boots, glistening with fresh polish, thud across the floor. He kicks me in the stomach, and I curl up to shield my vitals, but it's pointless. Protecting one thing only leaves another thing else exposed. Still huddled on the ground, I retreat as fast as I can. I retreat until the vision of the kitchen and my own trembling knees is nothing but a pinprick against the field of black. His jaw locks and his eyes twitch beneath their lids. Madiccio, Sage furiously cranks the knobs along her scope. He's hypnotized himself with his old memory. You've got to bring him out of it. Quickly. I almost have it. Shaken by the shoulders. Aloth, you've got to wake up. Aloth's eyes snap open, but the expression you see in them isn't his. You scuttled him off, a wilting daisy, that one. Sage sucks a deep breath through her teeth. That's it, I'm seeing a shift in his essence, something spreading and congealing. She glances at me over her scope. Keep talking. He seems to respond to you. What brought you here? Creaking bones and voices high in ire, that warm molasses feeling that creeps down your gut when crisis is high. Belfetto, we have flares of totally distinct essence. She jots shorthand notes into the pages next to her and turns one clicking knob of her scope. Now try to get the two of them talking. Aloth, ask Isomir what she's doing. Aloth's face twists in fury. Sticking weed, worming parasite. He bursts into a sudden laughter. You'd say the same to your own kindled twig when it betrays you. Hadret grins. Must be hard to avoid knowing there's a lady in your body the whole time judging you. Oh, that would be irritating. Good, yes, very good. She rests from her scribbling only to make another adjustment to her scope. I can now see two separate patterns of essence. Where he ebbs, the other flows. It's as if the awakened soul fills the spaces that he leaves empty. She prompts you with a circling of her wrists, quill still in hand. Go on. Isomir, what exactly are you taking from him? Nigh more than I'm giving. You should ask what I did with the old man of his. The last time he laid a hand on us, I break it in 3 places. Aloth's head jerks to the side. That wasn't your decision. It's never been your decision. Nigh was awakening, but now I'm stuck with ye. You be damned if I let your ninnying drag us both through the scupper. Ach, very good. She lowers her scope and consults her notes. I think I've finally got something we can work with. I've tracked Isomir's essence throughout the exchange. She had a particularly high-density index during the most heated portions of their argument, and her essence seemed to localize most clearly in the lower portion of the subject's left rib cage. That's right around the spleen, which of course means that she is triggered by black bile. No doubt the subject's characteristic melancholy is to blame. Aloth blinks back at me, and in the midst of his perturbation, I'm not quite sure who's looking out of his eyes. That's utterly horseshit. Sagani's eyes are wide and innocent. It does seem as though she got one thing right. She glares at him. Yes, never mind my years of training. I suppose you have a better explanation? Aloth's right. That's absurd. Isomir obviously shows up when he feels threatened. Belisage carefully scratches her jaw, her gaze darting between me and Aloth. I suppose that could be true. She jots another note. I'll have to check this against other research. He removes the copper bands. Well and good for you, but what does this mean for me? Belisage frowns at her notes, tapping her cheek with the quill and making a grand show of concentration. However, you catch her stealing a glance at me over her pages. Isomir tries to take control from you when she thinks you can't face a problem on your own. You can't let her make these decisions for you. Oh. I don't know if that's the right thing I want to say to him. She did you a favor by dealing with your father, didn't she? I think she's trying to help you stand up for yourself. You may not like her methods, but you should hear her out. I think that's the better thing. If you had to listen to her half as much as I do, you wouldn't say that. He scowls, but I notice something thoughtful in his frown. I've got a lot to process. Regardless, thank you for your help, Kelvin. He does not look at Belisage. She sets her notes on her desk and returns to her scope. Well, I hope this has been as useful to you as it has been to me. I finally have material worth publishing. You'll be the toast for Vua. Fenter, Aloth. She has weird words. His grimace melts into a crooked smile. Aye, advancing the right-wise principles of animacy, just what you've always wanted. As I turn to leave, I catch a darting movement out of the corner of my eye. Belisage is humming to herself, still occupied with her scope, but Aloth is holding her notes. He's just about to tuck them into his cloak when he catches me watching. He holds a finger to his lips, his eyes wide and imploring. Please, I don't want my personal information published like this, especially not after her nonsense. Fair enough, but do it quietly. He hides the papers in his cloak. Not to worry. We'll see to this on our own. Okay, let's go. There's somebody else I was to go speak to down here. Head Warden Ethelmore invited me to speak to the Animancers in the Sanitarium to see if they've noticed anything unusual that might point me to any Leaden Key involvement there. And that's what I was looking for. Finally found it. Modred, how are you?
Greetings.
Helling is dead. For good. Modred lets out a long breath. Then I can rest easy. You've done a great service for Animacy, for the Sanitarium, and for me. Thank you.
Welcome.
I'm looking for an expert on awakenings. I hear that Valian woman studies them. You should go talk to her instead. Has anything unusual been happening around here? You must be joking. This is the Sanitarium. Nothing is usual down here. He pauses. Although, now that I think of it, the patients seem more agitated lately. But they're Cademan, Azo's responsibility, not mine. He nods, taking a deep breath. Then, if there's nothing else, I'll be on my way. Let's go speak to this Cademan. Close the doors. I thought there was one more room down here. Was it? Maybe it's in here. Oh, hello.
Greetings.
A young Orlan woman traces her fingers along the spines of the books in front of her. Row by row, her motions quick and skittish, like a bird's. She does not notice me until I am nearly upon her. Oh my, you startled me. Are you supposed to be in here? What do you do here? I mostly help Master Azo set up and clean his equipment. I also keep his office organized since he's too busy to do it himself. If there's nothing else, I need to get back to work. I'm investigating any suspicious activity in the sanitarium. Oh, I'm just Master Azo's assistant. He'd know more about that, but he's in the middle of an busy with some patients. You won't be able to see him until he comes out of the patient ward. How do I get into the patient ward? Only Master Azo has access. I guess Head Warden Ethelmar does too, but he's, you know, a statue now. Is Azo busy with patients, or is he running some sort of experiment? I'm just his assistant. It's not my place to gossip. I'm sorry. Farewell. That's a little odd. If he's anywhere, I suspect he'd be in that room. There's nothing in here, not even a desk, so I take this room as unused. Hello. I never thought I'd be taking orders from a talking statue.
Yeah.
If you're here as a client, you'll want to be talking to an animaster, not me. Okay, well, we can't go through there. It's locked. I need to find this person. This Cadwin, I don't know if he's down here. He might be upstairs. Just have to search. Hello? Oh, reach out for the soul. Did I not read you before? I did. One of your souls, or your previous soul, was into robbing and thieving. Hello? Reach out for the soul. Okay, yeah, no, we've done this. I think her previous life was poisoning people. Where is this Cadwin? I don't know. Maybe Ethomir, the statue, would know. Head Warden Ethomir, have you learned anything of interest? Maybe. Is Captain Azo running experiments on the patients here? Experiments? Captain Azo is in charge of patient welfare now. He's not authorized to run any more experiments. I am disappointed in Cadwin. I had hoped he would be the one to guide your inquiry. He'll be in his office or in the patient wards. I am granting you immediate access so you can find him. No doubt you will wish to speak to him further on this matter, and I for one am curious as to what he might have to say. Tread carefully in the wards. There are a few dangerous cases. I would ask that you do your best not to agitate the patients. They have enough trouble as it is. Thank you. Well, what does that mean exactly then? Where is the patient wards? I guess we have to go downstairs? It's the only other place to go. Maybe that's the door at the end of the hall. Maybe a guard will let me in. If not, then... They didn't give me a key, so I don't know what else it could be. But he is just a statue, though. Maybe the door will be unlocked. The head warden says you can go in. Be careful in there. Okay. Oh, what's that? Is that like one of your guards? Hello. A curved spine twists this woman's posture forward, her greasy hair draped over her large eyes like vines. She smiles at me. You must be visiting someone. Then, noting my appearance, she adds, a friendly visit, I hope. Why are you in here? Behind her hair, her cheeks flush. I don't want to say. You'll think less of me. When you blush, it brings out the color of your eyes. Her blush deepens, and she ducks her head forward to bury her face deeper beneath her hair. These last few years haven't been kind to me. They haven't been kind to anyone, really. I try not to think of it as personal. I lost my husband, both boys, in the Saints' War. My daughter, the legacy took her before she was even mine. I made do. What else can I do? I moved into a tiny place in Andra's gift. Got by mending clothes and on the kindness of strangers when I had to. But I was surviving and the gods were watching me. I could live with that. Then one day this noblewoman comes in, wants his fancy gown fixed. Gorgeous thing. This shade of blue I'd never seen before. Only I looked at it and it reminded me of something. I had what they called an awakening. I remember being a noblewoman myself in another life, people doting over me, men doting over me, the best food, the most beautiful home, all the things you'd never dare to dream of, they were mine. It was poison knowing that. All those things I had that I'll never have in this life, it did something to me. My food started to taste rotten, The walls in my little room seemed to close in around me. I stopped being able to sleep in my own bed. So I came here. It was that or break into his estate and start ordering servants around. Seems like such a silly thing to worry about. You don't have to tell me, but I can't get past it, and I start to wonder. Did the gods choose this life for me? And if so, what terrible thing must I have done to deserve it? I don't know. I can't really speak for the gods. Maybe the gods took offense to your overindulgence? She sighs. Maybe they did. I wish I had known. Back when I was a noble, maybe I'd have done things differently. It's just a question. I don't know if that's true or not. Do you know where... Have any of the patients here been acting unusually? Well, there's Batixa, who relives a murder she committed more than 5 lifetimes ago. Idleman, who they say has only half a soul, and who was found collecting the faces of others because he believes his own to be a false one. Graham, he speaks in a language no one understands, and wails at night sometimes. Different from their normal behavior, I mean. Well, yes, I suppose, but nothing that they didn't volunteer for. Master Azo has let us know that a number of patients in the North Ward have volunteered for our new therapy and would be escorted to his laboratory to receive treatment. The North Ward has our most troubled cases. I'm glad some of them have chosen to get help. It seems to me it's gotten quieter over there since it started. It's Graham I see them taking in the most. He struggles, but he always was a bit of a wild one. What do you know about this Master Azo? Oh, I like him very much. Many animasters could care less about their patients, look at us like vermin for their experiments, but Master Azo treats us like humans, even the very sick. You can tell he does this to help people. He's helped me understand a great deal about myself, and I know he's done the same for others. It's too bad what they did to him. He hides it well, but I know he's still affected by it. What happened to Azo? Frail's eyes dart back and forth, and her voice lowers to just above a whisper. They don't like to talk about it, but there was an accident. He was said to be one of the brightest in Deerwood. That was his reputation here, and that was what brought me to seek treatment. People say it was his ego that drove him to try and solve the legacy, but that's hogwash, even if he was a bit of a showman. He loves his homeland. He thought he could help. He wasn't one to speak of his work, suspected his colleagues might have tried to steal it, but he told me once that he had figured out a way to create a soul. Not a soul exactly, mind you. How did he put it? A proxy, I think he called it. Had some machine that drew energy out of the very ether. Can you imagine? The point is, it was going to help with the legacy. It was going to make Hollowborn into something easier to love and care for. Gods know that's something we need. Do you know what they call those empty little babies in Andra's gift? No, tell me. They call them Bjoys, because so many of them are found floating face down in the water. These are mad times. Anyway, Master Azo has scheduled a public demonstration of his work in Copperlane. He was so excited. And then the next day he was locked in his office, turning away visitors, I heard. And he stopped seeing patients. I don't know exactly what happened, and I don't have the heart to ask him, but I'm glad they're letting him treat people again. Do you know where I might find him? I think I've seen him around today. Have you checked the laboratory? It shares a wall with his office. He's been spending most of his time there lately. Would I be able to visit the North Ward? They like to keep them separate. I don't know that I've ever seen the guards allow a visitor. Just Master Azo. You might ask him. He's very sympathetic. Thank you very much. Farewell. Now, looks like we have some exploring to do, and then we'll find this Master Azo. Let's see what he's up to. What he's really up to.